Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rewatch, the series where we talk about an old episode as we take a look back on it. And this one was a request from one of my good buddies. Thank you to Yang the Insane for this request. Speaking of requests, Fireball is on once again. And what are we rewatching today?
We are going to be rewatching Yang versus Tifa, RWBY versus Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, so yes, this was requested by my good buddy Yang the Insane because A, she has a username with Yang in the name, and B, she's curious to see what we think of this episode. The only time I've talked about Yang versus Tifa and my thoughts on it was back when I had a top 5 Rooster Teeth property episode, and I had this in the middle of the pack.
Alright. So,
shall we get underway with the rewatching? The only thing we're changing compared to last time is we're going to shorten the comments a little bit, and then I'll ask you guys on a future date what you think of the comment section. Should we do 5 for each of us or just 5 in general? So that's the only thing that's going to be different compared to when we watched Raven vs. Twilight, which thank you guys for checking out that, by the way. It was a lot of fun rewatching that one.
I was.
Alright, so you ready to rewatch Yang vs. Tifa?
Let's go. The old screw attack logo.
And the old Death Battle theme song.
Punching, the most useful language in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Failed, and these two lovely ladies are
Punching is pretty much my second favorite way to fight. Second only to... No. My third favorite way to fight.
Is it just me or...
Power.
I'm sorry, but I was going to say, does Boomstick sound different here?
Yeah, Boomstick has had a lot of voice changes throughout the show.
Alright, let's start off with Yang.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
So, this came out when I was in high school 7 years ago, and I never heard of RWBY at all. No one in my high school did. So then, when we heard about it, we thought, okay, this seems pretty cool. Like, and that was based off what was next. I had high school friends that watched Death Battle with me. And then her analysis came out, which... Oh, God. But yeah, I thought it was cool, and initially I predicted Yang to win her matchup based off shotgun gauntlets.
Alright.
It's kind of like Hogwarts, except replace one with swords, sniper rifles, and giant
Beacon Academy, the dream of all hunters. But that's enough about my Yang experience. What about you? How do you know Yang?
Well, surprisingly, I stumbled upon RWBY sometime after the first season. I really enjoyed it, and I was pretty excited to see what was up next. Then season 2 came. I was pretty hyped up for that one as well. Like Yang did really at the top of my favorites, but she's definitely a good character.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people that I knew, like, because this was our first exposure to RWBY, we all really enjoyed Yang.
Yeah, a lot of reactions I've seen for the trailers alone say that Yang is their favorite.
I gotta admit, like, I gotta admit, like, seeing old RWBY animations is putting a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And I think RWBY's a solid show, like, especially, you can tell, like, there's differences compared to the most recent season as well.
I haven't seen that one yet, still.
We talked about it over on Bill's channel, fun fact, which was fun.
So, since they did Yang from season 2, do you think Yang was put in Death Battle too early?
To be fair, I don't think anyone expected RWBY to go on as long as it did, especially with what happened to Monty, you know?
Yeah.
But from what the story was, Monty was like, could you guys please put a RWBY character in Death Battle? Because according to Ben, Monty actually invited Death Battle to RTX. And
Oh.
his original suggestion was RWBY versus Maka, I believe was her name, from Soul Eater.
Yep. Indeed. Yeah, I've watched that anime, and I'm a fan of both shows. So I'm in the camp of wanting that one to come to light.
Yeah, it was Monty's original suggestion, but he felt it was too soon for RWBY, so they were like, hey, how about Yang versus Tifa? And he's like, okay.
All right. It was Monty's idea to do it, so all right.
Yeah, well, like I said, originally he wanted RWBY versus Maka, but then they came to him with Yang versus Tifa, and he's like, okay. And obviously, you know, Torian. I remember back in Dan versus Hercule, when Torian had that mocap suit on, you knew it was going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think overall, Yang's analysis was very cool. Like, it made a lot of people like the character.
Yeah. Actually, like you, it made people actually want to watch RWBY.
Yeah.
As he's in the comments section, which will be saved for later.
Tifa Lockhart.
All right. So.
Confession. Sean has never played Final Fantasy.
Oh boy.
Which is saying a lot considering I like RPG games, and I've never played Final Fantasy VII.
Well, same goes for me, because I like fighting games, but I've never played any of the
Dissidia?
like, not Dissidia, but stuff like Street Fighter, Combat, stuff like that. So,
No, I say Dissidia because that was the fighting game Tifa was in.
I've honestly never heard of that one until this death battle.
Yeah.
But anyways, for my experience with Tifa, I've had very little experience with Tifa
I do think that,
before this.
yeah, I wasn't too familiar with Tifa, and then it looks pretty fun. And then, like, they showed, I think it was called Advent Children, like the Final Fantasy movie, and it looked really good.
Well, the only Final Fantasy game I've ever played was 8, and apparently it's the most hated Final Fantasy game.
Oh, the dolphin uppercuts. I don't know about Final Fantasy VIII, honestly, but I thought Tifa was interesting. And, well, had an interesting design, to say the least.
I know what you're talking about.
I mean, to be fair, if the other generation of people I knew liked PS1 Lara Croft, I can see why people adored Tifa.
Yeah, fair. Well, after this, Team 4-Star actually did something called Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged, which is very funny.
I like how the Tifa's analysis is also partly like old school boomstick humor. Like, you may think it's innuendo, but take your mind out of the gutters. He's talking about punching.
Yeah, they even alluded to that in this analysis, but we all know what he's actually thinking.
Hey, to be fair, a lot of teens probably were.
Yeah.
Also, it feels weird, like, seeing Final Fantasy VII and never playing it. I'm just like, what is this game?
Well, I have Final Fantasy VII on my Xbox, and I'm waiting to reach 300 followers on Twitch to actually stream it.
Nice. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII, like, there was a big popular remake that came out for it, like, years later for this.
Uh-huh. I'm actually watching another streamer play Final Fantasy VII, the remake for the first time. So far, she's enjoying it.
She also likely wears the Minerva band to defend from fire and ice.
Yay! RPG items were so complicated back in the day. Like, what do you give characters? But I think, you know, the perfect way they did that before, you know, Skyrim Dark Souls was with Jinx, honestly. Like, that was, like, the best when they handled, like, what to give characters. I know some people will say, oh, well, what about Link vs. Cloud's rematch? And I'm just like, to be fair, I'm not quite sure how to feel about it.
Well, factoring in the weight of Cloud and his giant weapon.
Also, Buster Sword, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Well, shit, talk about power.
That might,
You don't wanna
but
mess
that might
with
be,
Tifa's
that
strong
might be way too heavy for you.
No fists. Also, she's got a really nice rag. Did I mention that yet?
God damn it, Boomstick. Oh my Lord in heaven. Na, 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 na.
The iconic Final Fantasy victory music.
All right, the combatants are set.
Did this episode have sponsorship?
It's time for a death battle.
I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because like they were doing stuff with Rooster Teeth for this.
And the animation.
All
Which I
motion
got-
capture. So, technical difficulty aside, shall we get back into rewatching?
Yeah.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. You were saying that the animation wasn't the best looking.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely like some of the models, like at first.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't really look like they're well put together.
It happens. But I will say, the close combat was done very well.
That was, as always, per
Torian.
yeah, Torian, yeah.
Yeah, Torian always excels at combat. It was special effects that always gave him trouble, I feel like. Because like some of these weren't bad, but the ice breaking kind of meh.
Yeah, the Torian, pretty much, what's the word I'm looking for?
Ooh. I'm not quite.
He look, Torian looks up to,
Monty, yeah.
Monty, yeah.
Idolizes is the word you were probably thinking of.
No, it's just something else.
Oh, but now we get the RWBY music in the background.
Oh, yeah. Which for some reason gets muted, in reactions.
Cause copyright? That's always like the issue. And now everything explodes. Cause of course it does. I will say that this was awesome music choice, especially for like someone who's never seen RWBY at all. I really like the background music. Nightcrawler teleportation. Good night. And then this scene, that was cool to see. Pun intended.
Please don't.
Too bad, I did it anyway. Oh yeah, the Lucky Sevens! Like the Bandit Keith card. Wee!
And the dolphin.
The dolphin blow will always get a laugh out of people who first see the episode, I've noticed.
Did I just explode?
And that's how you tell you fucked up back in the day. Kaboom!
This moment that she knew, she fucked up.
Against the Super Saiyan, nonetheless. Yes, we do like this fight a lot, Yang. Ouch!
Ooh.
That's still a brutal death, I feel. Sunglasses. Alright, the results. I think I agreed with them after they explained it years ago. But since the remake for Final Fantasy VII, I think Tifa wins nowadays.
Yeah. Pretty much. I've been seeing comments from this video that that the Tifa should have won this one.
Yeah, I mean, with the way they do research nowadays, I can understand why, but back then, research was different.
Yeah.
But it also shows just like how good aura can be for RWBY characters.
Luckily, her aura is durable enough to take a
Punch. The Board of Wisdom? That is a flashback and a half.
I hardly pay attention to that.
Boo, that pun.
Yang Xiaolong.
The ending that shocked and
Alright.
angered most people.
Next time on
Yeah.
What was announced after this? I forget. Oh no, it was.
Oh yeah, this.
Hello, Chad and Ben and.
This was.
Forgetting about this.
So this was for another Screw Attack show.
Great scheme going on for a while
Yeah.
there. Having you follow them on Twitter to find out which of your favorite.
And the death battle that was announced was
Now it's
I
what is
believe it
Mega
was-
Man versus Astro Boy.
Yes, I believe it was.
hard drive that contains all the death battle matchups and outcomes for the next year.
Yeah, it was Mega Man vs. Astro Boy.
If you ever want to see your precious death battle again, well, you know what to do.
Yeah,
To prove that I have.
I
the
can understand
content,
why they wanted to do it this way instead of like what they usually do, because they want to promote their other show of the industry.
John Francis McCullough and Death Battle.
24, 2015.
Jesus Christ.
Alright. That wasn't the real hard joke, right? No, I got it right.
Shit.
And thus Ben fucked up. Alrighty, so let's stop right here.
All right.
So we just went over like what we talked about result wise and all that fun stuff. But Fireball found 5 comments that we're going to be taking a look at for this episode to see what people say, and then we'll talk about how we feel about the episode overall. So what's the first comment? What do we got?
The first comment is from Nightmare on Polk Street 2 months ago. And this is a pretty long one. If they were to rematch Yang versus Tifa like they did with Link and Cloud, I seriously doubt be able to top this match in terms of being enjoyable to watch. Admittedly, 2012's Link vs. Cloud hasn't aged that well, given that it was the first 3D animated death battle. So, it wasn't that hard to top it with Link vs. Cloud's rematch in 2021. In Yang vs. Tifa's case, however, the fight choreography, music, and dialogue featuring Barbara Duppelman and Tia Ballard made a most enjoyable match indeed.
Yeah, I feel it would be kind of hard to top, especially because like when Link vs. Cloud came out for that rematch, they were like, this is the first ever full-on animated in Blender fight, which was fitting considering it was the first ever 3D fight. So yeah, it'd be hard to like really top it, but they could definitely get Barbara back. Tia, I don't know what Tia's done ever since, I'm curious.
And me too. Okay. The next comment is from Bob Joe from 12 days ago. Still one of my favorites even years later.
Understandable, especially for like season 2. Like it stood out.
Yeah, it's definitely not that bad in terms of quality.
I'm still curious why Bill has this as his least favorite of all time. Like he explained a little bit in the Robust cast that we did as a crossover, but like I think it's hard to say like what was bad per se. The models are dated, but that was really like the biggest flaw.
Hey, so the next comment is from Almighty Egg Lord. 3 years ago. Come on, sir. Just doing his job. Yang, you have chosen death.
Yes, you don't get in front of a girl's way when they want something. Believe me, I know.
I mean, like, he was just doing his job.
I know, but still, dead.
The next comment is from Spider Patriot. 1 year ago. Can't believe Death Battle would just kill off the best member of the Italian Senate like that. Shaking my head. Get that?
Is that an inside joke with Final Fantasy? I don't get it.
Okay. During a Senate meeting in Italy, someone showed a not safe for work video of Tifa doing something.
Wait, that was a thing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing, Italy?
I mean, like, someone probably hacked or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's very clever.
Okay, the last comment is from Oliver Avery 3 years ago. Love the attention to detail. Yang's hair constantly glitching is very true to the source material.
Yay, motion capture anime.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice it, honestly.
I mean, me neither.
All right, I think that does it for our rewatch of Yang vs. Tifa. What do we think of the episode looking back compared to when we first watched it? It's a fun watch. It really is.
But the animation probably didn't age all that well.
The models, I think, were the biggest flaw with it, but the combat and the music choice was still solid.
Indeed, yeah.
And that death, that hurt looking at it the first time, and it still kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, it was a fun episode to rewatch. Thank you to Yang the Insane for suggesting this episode. And if you have an episode suggestion, leave it down in the comments below or say something on like Twitter or something. I'd love to see what you guys want us to rewatch. And with that being said, thank you folks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Rewatch. We got a couple more lined up. Of course, we talked about it in Raven versus Phoenix that we're going to be rewatching Guts versus Nightmare. And we have another request of rewatch coming up.
Yeah.
That request is going to be uploaded after Guts vs. Nightmare because I want to be fair to Guts and just get that out of the way. So by the time you're seeing this episode of Rewatch, the second request will already have been filmed, but will most likely be uploaded the week after.
All right.
So thank you folks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Give us a suggestion down below. Fireball, go ahead.
Sorry.
マシンガンキステ just